All right, so I got 5 questions for you. So first thing, how did you find out about Smash World Tour being canceled?
I got a call from Justin, or rather, I got a message from Justin at Smash World Tour that he wanted to talk to me on. I think it was like the week blurs together. It was like Monday or Tuesday this week. He hit us up and we had a call, and he just let us know that it wasn't happening anymore.
That's so crazy, dude. It
Yeah.
was just like that. You're just like, what do you? And so what happened after that phone call?
Yeah, we were just kind of waiting for the next couple of hours for Smash World Tour to put the statement out. Just wondering how the community would receive it. LD almost immediately decided to quote tweet it with what he said about the sort of threats that were being made. So we just kind of sat back and watched everything roll in. And we're kind of still in the same spot we are now, everything's still just so uncertain with what the, reaction is going to be next from, Nintendo, basically. So, yeah, it's a really weird and uncertain thing to happen, and I have no idea what happens next from here.
Mm-hmm. And then overall, when you heard that, did you have that same feeling I did? My heart dropped in my fucking asshole. I was like, oh my, how did you feel?
Yeah, it's really rough all around, I think, just because, Smash World Tour really is like a passion project. Gimmer and Justin and those guys are not making money off of it even. They are investing in the community and doing all of these events in support of the Smash World Tour, like Double Down, like Pound. All of that exists pretty much to prop the Smash World Tour up, and that was, their whole game plan going forward, basically. So for them, knowing that wasn't there anymore for them to pursue, it's like, well, shit, what happens next? So, yeah, it was gut-wrenching for them. Also, all of the, people who were working at Panda before who now feel like they can't be associated with that brand, that's a really important thing to consider here, is to keep those people in mind that it's not their fault that any of this is happening, that they really didn't know about any of it. I don't think anyone at that company knew the full extent of what was happening, and so being able to support them in any way possible is very important here. But yeah, it's a lot of senseless collateral damage being done as a result of this happening, and it's going to take a lot to build back from it, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, it's scary times for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Where and how will the community continue to grow?
That's a great question. I think I see a path forward for survival pretty easily. I think that, you kind of can't really make Smash go away. We're always going to find some way to come together and to celebrate the game and to, make events happen in some way, shape, or form. But I have always thought that Smash could be bigger than it is. I've always thought that it deserves that. It is, it is the game to me. It takes all of the characters that you puts them together, and asks the question who will win, basically, and you get so much control over all of these great characters, and to me that's really compelling. And so I think that going forward, we really are kind of at the mercy of the developer of the game, unfortunately. And I really wish that it weren't that way, because if you take a look at like the laws on the book regarding copyright when it comes to stuff like this, like, you know, Nintendo is in their legal right to shut down anything that we do, really. Like maybe even running tournaments itself. They might even have the legal right to do that, because IP holders have what's called performance rights, and so any like public performance, whether like recorded or broadcasted or not, the IP holder has the rights to all of that. And so, like, at a certain level, we have to like set a new precedent to be safe from Nintendo. And so, like, it either goes one of two ways, I think. One, where they decide, okay, we can't have any, you know, unlicensed events at all, and that sends us into, you know, kind of a guerrilla mode of operating, where we, you know, where we have to sort of make tournaments into like a protest, like Scar was talking about, you know, like if they tell us that we can't broadcast, we stop broadcasting the gameplay and we start talking, you know, and we continue to run the tournament. On the other side, they could just leave us alone. You know, they could decide that like the PR and repairing the image and repairing the relationship with the community is more important. And they could decide to back off of a lot of the sort of rhetoric and restrictions that they were, you know, imposing on us, basically, or at least looking to impose on us. So I don't know which is like more important to them, whether it's protecting their IP or whether it's maintaining their status with the community. Because if there's one thing that I believe about Nintendo, it's that they're not looking to be involved in Smash for the money. I don't think they can be involved in Smash for the money. One, they probably won't make very much. Two, I think that there are so many, in Smash Ultimate in particular, there are so many like developers who have intellectual property in that game that any money that they make off of it is probably going to have to be split amongst all of those developers, and that would take a really long time to negotiate. So I actually do think that a lot of their concern is like whether or not the community likes them, and they took a big step back in that regard, but they might panic about that and decide to leave us alone as a result of it.
That's what they did last time, and I kind of hope they do it again. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, so with all this information going on, and typically you have a major or a tournament, you don't have to think about this because of course Nintendo's not always stepping in. So now that they had stepped in and they said something and all this stuff had gone down, leading up to this tournament, how did you prepare for it?
I mean, we were kind of put in the position where this is going to be the last tournament of the year all of a sudden. And my number one focus was just to make sure that we could make it like what the community needed. And that meant, you know, like opening up registration again. It was already closed when we found out this was all going to happen. And so we decided, well, let's just give people a place to come and play, basically. And that ended up working out pretty well for us. We got a lot of, you know, especially Melee top players to come to the event after reopening registration. You know, as far as like being afraid of the event being shut down or anything, like we were going to run it one way or another, basically, no matter what happened. So, you know, if somebody comes to try to shut us down, like, let them. But, you know, we're gonna keep running the tournament, basically, is how we thought, no matter what happens. So, luckily that hasn't happened, and we've been able to kind of operate as usual here. But it's, you know, it's kind of a weird environment to be in where everyone kind of has this weighing on them, but it's good to see everyone in the same place, all the people who were able to like come last minute and be a part of it. I'm really glad we were able to make that happen.
Yeah, I feel the same because I saw you guys open up registration and people were like flooding in. And
Yeah.
you also had to make these last second changes to pools and this and that, and we know you were like staying up all night and like all day trying to change those pools and stuff. And then last question is any final words you like to tell the community?
I don't think it's a time to be doomer right now. You know what I mean? I think that unfortunately, like, a lot of the times when the most eyes are on us now comes when we get kicked in the head like this. And as much as it does suck, it's also kind of like an opportunity. So we have to keep making noise. We have to keep showing up, whether that's to majors, locals, online tournaments, whatever. I think it's great that everyone has shown the sort of like unilateral support that they have for Smash World Tour after this, and I think that we kind of need to not lose sight of that, because a lot of what's happened in the past is that we've had these sort of moments where we come together and we're like, hey, this isn't okay, but we sort of let ourselves slip back a little bit from that. We don't really keep the energy up, so to speak, and we kind of start looking for the Big Daddy Nintendo to come and save us. And I think that a lot would have to change for that to happen now, and I don't really see it happening, especially after the way that all of this was handled. It's like really hard to see a future where we don't have to just make it on our own. So that's up to you. That's up to everyone out there. You could be involved in Smash just like that. It's so easy to just go on Reddit or on Discord or Twitter or whatever and find people in your local community and start attending things, and even helping out, even like volunteering at majors and stuff, running your own local. Like, so many of these communities are propped up by just people who decided that they wanted to step up and help out with things, and that's there for you if you want it, basically. And so I encourage everyone to be a part of that, and start thinking about what they can do to help their local communities, because there's a really good chance we're going to need that backbone going forward, because as fun as it is to host giant tournaments, that's really only possible if you have some sort of revenue, and that's got to come from somewhere, and they can stop us from doing that, basically. So we just have to do whatever we can to make it by, and sometimes it just takes one person to put the team on their back and make it happen. So it could be you.
That's so crazy, dude. But it's unbelievable, and I don't know, with the little voice I have, I'm trying to help out and get videos out there.
Just like this. This is what I'm talking about. Do that. Make video.
Make videos. Help the community.
Even tweeting. Even tweeting helps.
I super appreciate it, Mikey.